Good morning from the National Weather Service in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is Aaron Swiggett, meteorologist here, and I'll be providing the routine Thursday weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, and we'll be covering the period from today, April 6th, through next Wednesday, which will be April 12th, already rapidly approaching mid-April, hard to believe. All right, we'll go ahead and start off with North Carolina drought conditions. As you can kind of see from the bottom left-hand panel from last week's drought map compared to the current one, mostly just an expansion of the D0, which is abnormally dry, so not drought conditions yet, but areas in which they are monitoring for drought conditions has expanded westward to include all of central North Carolina now, so everywhere has included the abnormally dry. Most likely that is going to change with the amount of rainfall we are expecting, and we'll get to that here shortly over into the weekend. Excellent segue to the upcoming weather pattern. So for today, we have a cold front that is to our west, and that will approach from the northwest this afternoon and evening, and will slowly sag southward through Friday morning. And with that, you'll expect to see some showers, some isolated thunderstorms, and potentially some strong severe thunderstorms, and we'll get to that here shortly. But as that front kind of sags southward and eventually stalls to our south, it'll set the stage for a rainy, cool, dreary forecast through Saturday night. If you've heard some of us talking about a cold air damming setup, this is going to be a fairly classic one. So you can expect cooler temperatures, overcast skies, light, maybe even some moderate rainfall during that time. That's pretty much going to be locked in through Saturday, even into Saturday night before it shifts eastward and southeastward. Behind that, as it moves out, high pressure will settle in overhead through the midweek. You can kind of see in those bottom two panels of the high pressure over the mid-Atlantic, and it kind of sags southward and over us through the middle of the week, and that'll bring dry conditions and mostly moderating temperatures. So I wanted to start off here, kind of move things around a little bit, start off with the severe thunderstorm potential. So earlier this morning, they slightly hedged the slight area, which is the yellow color, down across some of our counties. Overall, the expected hazards has not changed. They're just highlighting some of the areas as we're getting closer and confidence is increasing. But overall, for today, we're expecting some scattered strong to severe thunderstorms. That'll be possible mostly over the northwest Piedmont, but into the northern coastal plain possible, including the Triad and northern portions of the Triangle. And that's going to be between 4 and 11 p.m. This afternoon, late afternoon into the evening hours. And the main hazards with that are mostly going to be damaging straight line winds with any strong clusters of storms that develop. And if they remain isolated, potentially a large hail threat as well as the secondary threat. As we move forward into Friday and Saturday, you'll see that there is a general thunder risk that kind of collapses southward, and that'll most likely just be along the front and early Friday for that potential for some thunder there, but no severe thunderstorms are expected after that front passes through. All right, so the big story here is going to be the rainfall. So you can kind of see today up in the top left, we have some kind of splotchy rainfall across the area with maybe a little bit of a maximum from Charlotte up until like north and east of Raleigh there. And that's right around an inch of rainfall. And that's mostly going to develop where you have storms that kind of train over top of each other today. Where that's going to develop is kind of right around that area, but you could have it develop anywhere north or south of that area, depending on where those training storms do develop. So you could see some higher rainfall totals of upwards of an inch, but most areas will see maybe between 1/4 and 3/4 of an inch of rainfall today with those showers and storms. And then Friday, as the front collapses to our south, we'll have some widespread rain that kind of envelops the area. We'll have multiple rounds of rain Friday and then in another one on Saturday, leading to quite a good soaking rainfall. Some light to moderate rain. We're not expecting any strong thunderstorms or anything of that kind, mostly just widespread rainfall. And you can kind of see there in the bottom right, that's going to be your 5-day total, which is including today and all the way through Saturday. So basically, having widespread 2 to 4 inches. So that dark purple surrounding most of our area is the 2 inches, with the deeper reds of 3 to 4 inches. So quite a bit of rainfall, and will most likely eliminate any of that D0 concerns for any of our area. And then Sunday and Monday, as that kind of collapses to the south and east, dry conditions continue over the area for the early portions of the week. Okay, so we have a lot of rainfall in there. What's the likelihood of flash flooding? So for today, we have less than a 5% chance, but anywhere those storms can train and you have some higher localized rainfall, there could be some ponding on the roadways and some localized flooding, but confidence is pretty low on where that's going to develop. That is a possibility for today, given the showers out expected today and the training nature that they could possess. Friday, mostly, again, just some widespread rainfall, but it should prime the area for Saturday, where you can kind of see on the far right image there, having a good portion of the area, mostly south and east of, from the triangle, south and east, for a marginal risk, which is that level 1 out of 4 from the Weather Prediction Center for excessive rainfall. For the most part, we're not expecting rain rates to be all that impressive. They're going to remain fairly low, which would limit the flash flooding potential, but there could be some localized flooding, especially in poor drainage areas, and potentially some river flooding as well, with some prolonged rainfall and some of the higher end totals there. So kind of a good segue there, river flooding here. I kind of wanted to highlight a couple different spots that we're kind of looking at, and they're mostly down across the southern portions and central portions of central North Carolina. First one I wanted to highlight was Rocky River, where it's going to be kind of right in the axis of the highest rainfall totals there, and that's right around the Stanley-Anson County line. I wanted to put one caveat in here that this only incorporates 48 hours of rainfall from the Weather Prediction Center that the Southeast River Forecast Center incorporates into their forecasts. So this only has rainfall going through 8 a.m. on Saturday and doesn't incorporate anything like that. And if you can remember back to the graphic, we do have another 1 to potentially 2 inches of rainfall on Saturday as well. So I wanted to highlight what the forecast could look like. So this is just kind of one of the tools in our toolbox that we can look at for the potential for river flooding. And I want you to mostly focus on the blue shading area, which is the most likely. And I highlighted, put a little dashed line on here just so you can see the differences of where the peaks are. So on the left image, you can kind of see the peak shortly after 9 a.m. on Saturday, which is not incorporating any rainfall after that period. But the right image has a peak maybe 10 to 12 hours after that, which incorporates the rainfall. And you can kind of see what the forecast may look like, and has a portion of it maybe going up, approaching flood, minor flood stage over in Norwood. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that as well. And a couple of other spots, Fishing Creek near Enfield, which is on the Edgecombe-Halifax County line, having a good peak with the forecast going and staying below action stage currently. And then again, also wanted to highlight Bynum as well, which is near the axis of higher rainfall in Chatham County. Again, mostly they're with the current forecast and the current rainfall through early Saturday. Not expecting any minor flooding in these locations, but that may change as we incorporate that third day of rainfall in there and as we approach and the rainfall does develop. Okay, shifting gears a little bit, extending out the 6 to 10 day outlook, courtesy of the Climate Prediction Center. We have hot conditions, warmer conditions building in, and drier conditions. So 50 to 70% chance of above normal temperatures across the area, and as well 40 to 60% chance of below normal rainfall. So warmer and drier conditions, and this is highlighting the April 11th through April 15th time period. And just for some context, the normal highs for Raleigh, North Carolina is around 72, and the lows around 47 during this time frame. So 50 to 70% chance of above temperatures around 72 and 47 for Raleigh. Jumping ahead a little bit, also for the 8 to 14 day outlook, even warmer potential or greater chances of above normal temperatures from April 13th through the 19th time frame. for the most of the area, so 70 to 90% chances above normal temperatures. And again, for reference, that's right around highs in the low to mid 70s for Raleigh and lows in the upper 40s. And still continuing that pattern of below normal chances for rainfall of 30 to 50% below normal rainfall time frame. Okay, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So again, cold front approaching the area today with the potential for some scattered strong severe thunderstorms with the main threats of damaging winds and large hail between 4 and 11 p.m. And then the front stalls to our south and leads to some widespread dreary conditions, rainfall, and extended periods of rain through most of Friday and Saturday, and then clearing out on late on Sunday with high pressure that's kind of building in. And with that increased rainfall, having the potential for some minor river flooding, as well as some flooding in some localized locations there. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and into your weekend. Thank you all so much for joining me, and we'll see you on Monday.